And it really, really matters because this isn't about just saving the stones at Promontory Point, it's about saving the community that loves Promontory Point and has grown up there and thrived there for decades. And that's what this is all about.
Today, Promontory Point Conservancy and McLaren Engineering Group released the results of a condition study of Chicago's Promontory Point, concluding unequivocally that the iconic limestone block revetment currently in place along the principal shoreline is structurally sound, provides critical shoreline protection for the inland part and south lakefront, and may be easily redeveloped. McLaren's condition study shows that yes, the Chicago Core, CDOT, and Chicago Park District can destroy the point, but they don't have to. The point can be saved. To preserve the limestone is to preserve the community that has gathered at the point for decades. Repairing the limestone revetment is an investment to ensure that future Chicagoans may enjoy this park as a legacy for many generations to come. Thank you.
So I'm here standing in solidarity and in full support of the Promontory Point Conservancy, along with Senator Peters and Commissioner Lowry, and call on the city to listen to the community and let the community lead and make sure that Promontory Point is restored using natural limestone and not poured concrete. Last night I received an email in response to this press conference from the Chicago Department of Transportation, and I'd like to share a little bit of that with you right now. The Chicago Department of Transportation, the Chicago Park District, and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, as partners in the implementation of the Chicago Shoreline Project, look forward to reviewing the report released today. Any data and input will be valuable during the planning and design process needed to meet the goals of reducing coastal storm damage while preserving the limestone and historic nature of Promontory Point. The project partners have publicly expressed their commitment to the preservation of Promontory Point in a manner that is consistent with the Secretary of Interior standards for historic preservation. There is no intention of replacing the limestone with a continuous concrete revetment. So they said it. They said it. The city had a release today. They said it. However, as I mentioned earlier, let's make sure that this process is transparent, because there are reports that have been done over the last couple of years that state otherwise, other than what is in this statement today. And so let's keep our feet on the gas, hold elected officials accountable, but also more importantly, let's win for Promontory Point. Thank you.
But the point means a lot to me personally. It holds something deep to so many of us in this community. Jumping off the limestone and getting into the water is something that's special. It's what sells the neighborhood. What I really see is a shining example of so many years of organizing getting us to this point. To even hear that from CDOT, to even know that's coming, to see elected officials from the city, the county, and the state all on the same page is a testament to all the organizing you guys have done. I remember, meeting with folks and organizing folks and seeing the energy to do this, and it has led to me today. I introduced a resolution to save the point, to protect the point, to preserve the limestone, to preserve this community treasure. This is a resolution I think will help further push the organizing efforts to make sure that the city does the right thing. Look, what we do here actually has a huge impact on what happens in other preservation sites across the city and in this state. But we could do this here, and we could show the model of what it means to organize at a community level. We show what it means to have the messaging and narrative discipline necessary to get this done. We show what it means that it connects every facet of the South Side together, that this isn't just a Hyde Park fight, that this is a city fight.
As a lifelong South Sider, I really embrace that the point is a special place where bonds are made with individuals, where our South Side communities are brought together. It truly became a place where we would not only get closer as friends, but for some reason we talk about things that we just wouldn't talk about outside of being at the point. It became a safe haven for us. It became our home away from home. It's free and available for all of us. It's free for our youth, our seniors, and all in between. It's where you can enjoy a walk along the lake. It's where, on a summer day, you can enjoy the breeze coming off of the water. Investing in our natural resources and parks is integral to creating stable and thriving and growing communities. I think it's so important when electeds at every level work together bring whatever different resources we have for the common good. This is an example of us doing that as we work side by side with all of you.
The limestone revetment is the last remaining of its kind along Chicago's shoreline. This stepped limestone is a unique solution to the problem of erosion and forms the transitional link between the natural power of Lake Michigan and the built environment of the city. The loss of this final piece of revetment would complete the erasure of this resource, taking with it evidence of engineering history and the history of the city of Chicago. As we have all argued for many years, the study showed that with sensitive rehabilitation, the limestone can and should be preserved.
And again, I'm thrilled with the news was shared about the public agency buy-in with the vision of the community. So my remarks take them in a broader spirit because this is not the only battle. I grew up taking long walks with my dad, entranced by the giant blocks, because I did not have those fancy words like limestone and revetments. They were just big blocks. So I teared up a bit last spring at the meeting when the Park District approved landmarking the point, paving the way for the city to follow suit. When Friends of the Parks learned that our public agencies may again be putting forth plans that are more about demolition than repair and preservation, I was confused. Plans that are heavy-handed and closed-eared to local input seem to batter communities. Friends of the Parks urges our public agencies to be responsive to community priorities and respectful of the historic spots that give Chicago character. And to not just think in terms of 100-year storms, but also the 5 years of losing access to this cherished, heavily used spot. That is a lot of missed walks, family picnics, and teenage antics. We have a legitimate study that will save public funds, that will protect the shoreline, that will maintain access. It is time to stop having to protect the point from misguided plans and finally start the work of preserving it.
All along, but as long as I can remember, there's always been an effort to save some aspect of the point. Even back, we made a big pitch with the Promontory Point Conservancy and the city to have it landmarked, because buildings that are landmarked are held to a different standard, and they're recognized as cultural treasures to the city of Chicago and to the nation. Alfred Caldwell, the designer, one of the designers of Promontory Point, was my professor twice. He talked about the importance of Promontory Point, its landscape, its siting, and its absolute beauty. One of our big messages was, hey, we have the Alfred Caldwell Lily Pond next to Lincoln Park Zoo, which many of us also spend a lot of time at, which is landmarked. Why not landmark the point? What's good enough for one side of town is certainly good enough for the other side of town. We had an idea. It was a big Burnham idea, and that is to make the entire Chicago lakefront a national park. Why not try to preserve all these important aspects, bring partnerships with the Chicago Park District, with the City of Chicago, with the National Park Service, to bring jobs, to bring stewards of the park rangers, to talk about the area that they're in, and talk about the history of the area they're in. They do it in Washington with the National Mall, they do it in San Francisco with the Presidio, the Philadelphia Independence sites, the New York Liberty sites, the St. Louis Arch in St. Louis, Missouri, and of course in our own city of Pullman. Why not connect all these stories together? Why not bring all these histories together? Maybe use some of those park district funds to create new parks throughout the inner city with new parks and programs for children and adults, and maybe address some of our crime issues in the process. And to celebrate this incredible victory, fingers crossed, with a more sensitive approach to the repairs of the revetments and Promontory Point. Thank you so much.